There's a feeling that whole grain bread is more difficult to make than white bread, but the fact is it's not, it's just different. What I'm going to do here is make the simplest, most basic whole wheat dough from which you can make a sandwich bread, a round bread, a sort of country loaf, a cracker, or what I'm doing here is going to be a focaccia. So, as usual, we have our friend the food processor, 3 cups of flour. So this is whole wheat flour. None of these proportions need be exact. Say 2 teaspoons of salt. And I'm putting some pepper in this. You can add pretty much whatever you like. Now yeast, depending on how much rise you want. If you were making a cracker, you could use as little as a teaspoon of yeast. If you were making a round loaf, you might want to use 2 teaspoons. I'm splitting the difference for this focaccia and using 1.5 teaspoons. It's called instant or rapid rise yeast. A tiny bit of olive oil, say a tablespoon. And then the process is get the machine running and add water until you get a dough. Usually you use about 50% as much water as flour, so it's going to be roughly 1.5 cups. And now it's beginning to turn into a ball. At this point, you got some crumb in here. You could actually stop here, but 1 tablespoon more water will pull this thing together. Watch. So now you've really got a dough ball, and you let it run for 30 seconds. This beating against the side of the bowl is really what's taking the place of kneading, because now we're done. A little olive oil in a bowl, shape it into a ball, turn it into olive oil, cover it. So at this point, you can let it rest for an hour or 2, or you can refrigerate it. Go to bed, go to work, whatever you choose. Come back, take it out of the refrigerator. At that point, let it rise for an hour or 2, and we'll pick it up then. 2.5 hours later, in a very warm kitchen, and we've got nicely risen dough here. You can pretty much press this into shape, as you see I'm doing, in a minute or less. Just line the pan with the dough, and just cover this again. It could be 20 minutes while you're preheating the oven. It could be an hour. It could even be an hour and a half. I wouldn't go much longer than that. But the oven should be hot, 500 degrees or so, and I'll show you when this is ready, and we'll finish cooking. That's pretty nice. Okay, well, there's not much to this. I mean, you eat it. Different and really good. Totally legitimate.